ready when you are, Your Honor.
Spreadsheet again.
Oh, I've got one more person coming in. Hello, I have a phone number ending in 2516. Could you tell me your name, please?
Phyllis Muller.
Thank you. I'm going to put you on mute. When the judge calls your case, you can unmute yourself.
Okay.
All right, the first case I'm calling this afternoon's docket is Horizon Court versus William Lincoln. This is file 21-23366LT. Would the attorney for the plaintiff please identify themselves for the record? Mr. Bronson, you are muted. You'll have to unmute yourself.
Is that better, Your Honor?
It is. Thank you. Please
Todd,
state your name.
Todd Bronson, on behalf of Horizon Court, Your Honor.
All right. And is William Lincoln available? I see a Michelle Lincoln, but not a William Lincoln.
It's me. It's Michelle. The lease is in my name.
All right. Well,
William is my husband.
okay. Mr. Bronson, the paperwork was filed out for a William Lincoln. Was it also listed as any and all occupants?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, then, ma'am, even though we know your name, you are any and all occupants. So
Right.
You're here to represent yourself, but your husband is not here. Is that correct?
Right.
All right. Mr. Bronson, this looks to be a termination hearing as opposed to a possession hearing or a money judgment. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. Miss Lincoln, the lawsuit type was Mr. Bronson, on behalf of his client, just wants the property back. Is
Right.
there a reason why I shouldn't grant that request?
I just need 10 days. It's
Okay.
been hard finding a place. There's absolutely, you can't get in a shelter. You can't get in a campground. You can't get nowhere. So, and we found a building, but it's not legally habitable.
Okay.
So
well,
we were waiting for this to find out what we're going to do and get in there, and I can be in there. I can't even take possession of the property until the 1st.
okay. Well, as it stands right now, the writ date would be August 9th anyway. So I will grant Mr. Bronson, it will be by default against Mr. William Lincoln, against Miss Michelle Lincoln. I guess it'll be by consent, but it will be, the writ date will be on or about August 9th. What that means, Miss Lincoln, is that you have until the 9th to be able to stay there. After the 9th, you can be served a writ of eviction. Your landlord has up to 56 days. They don't have to do it on that very first day. They can wait. It depends on your relationship with them, but realize they could serve you with a writ of eviction on August 9th. Do you understand?
Yep, I do.
Okay. All right. We'll be adjourned on that case.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
one
you.
question, Your Honor.
Yes.
Should I send over a proposed order? And if so, is that via email or do I need to use mail?
Yes. Yeah. Email would be best. 75civil@co.midland.mi.us.
But I had till the 9th, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck
Thank
finding a habitable place.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, the next file is the case of U.S. Bank National Association First Square Trust Company versus Phyllis Tim Moeller and all occupants. This is file 21-33369LT. Counsel, please identify yourself for the record.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Paul Santi appearing on behalf of plaintiff.
All right, today's time and date set for termination hearing. Katrina, do we have a Phyllis or Tim Moeller in the virtual waiting room?
I apologize, Your Honor. I do have Ms. Moeller on the phone. I'm asking her to unmute. I believe she has to hit *6. There you go.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Well, I'm presuming it's Miss Moeller. It could be Mr. Moeller. I have a phone that's listed and named as Phyllis Moeller. Is there anyone on the other end of the phone? Is there anyone at the other end of the phone? That's muted again. You'll have to unmute yourself to be able, there you go. Could you tell me your name, please? I see a phone that says Phyllis Muller, but no one is speaking. No one's responding. I'm going to presume that if they didn't appear because they're not appearing or having any contact with us. Mr. Santi, it looks to be a termination case. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor. This is in particular filed under MCL 600.3237, what I commonly refer to as the inspection statute.
Hello, sir. I'm here.
Could you tell me your name, please?
Phyllis Muller.
Is Mr. Tim Moeller with you as well?
No, sir. He's working.
Okay. All right. So we're listening to Mr. Santi right now. Mr. Santi, go ahead.
As I stated, Your Honor, this was filed under MCL 600.3237, I commonly refer to as the inspection statute. Notification was sent out to the address 444 West Star, the subject property. The defendants, Phyllis Muller and Tim Mueller, were named on all those notices. It was posted as well, requesting an interior inspection during the redemption period. No response was received from either defendant at the initial letter, which was sent out on May 11th, 2021 and posted on May 11th, 2021. An additional letter stating no response and the intent to commence summary proceeding pursuant to the statute was sent and posted on May 27th, 2021. I believe we had a first hearing, Your Honor, on this file 2 weeks ago, I believe, and no one appeared. Your Honor set this hearing as the second additional hearing, I believe, to the COVID measures. And this is the first time Ms. Mueller has appeared or provided any contact as of date. And for those reasons, Your Honor, the failure to respond, the fact that we have went through, filed, and satisfied all of the requirements in the statute, as I cited, we ask that a default judgment or judgment by hearing today be issued with the statutory redemption period being waived and extinguished pursuant to MCL 600.3238, subsection 2.
Ms. Mueller, are you representing yourself today?
Yes, sir.
Why didn't you respond and let the bank come in and take a look at the property?
Sir, I was here on the 27th when they said they were going to be here.
You're saying someone was supposed to be at your property on the 27th?
Yeah, the second one of May. I was here on that date.
Mr. Santi, do you have anybody that was to indicate that there was somebody at the property on May 27th?
I have nothing in my notes, Your Honor, that she ever contacted us. On May 27th is when we actually there was an intent. We indicated that we wanted to inspect the property, but we received no response, which then caused the letter to be sent out on May 27th. We received no response. We're not going to come just, knocking on the door unannounced, Your Honor, as I believe that would cause more problems than anything good at least. And so I think the intent was to go out there on May 27th, but having received no response, the letter instead was sent on May 27th saying, hey, we haven't heard from you. Therefore, we're going to commence the summary proceeding for possession. And again, haven't heard from her since May 27th, even the first hearing, which I believe she was notified of as well.
When is the redemptive period? You said pursuant to the statute could be waived. When is the redemptive time period?
Yes, Your Honor. The redemption, the foreclosure sale was held on April 27, 2021, typically a 6-month redemption. And that's what we have here, a 6-month redemption, which it's, I believe, October 28th of 21 would be the statutory redemption expiration date. But again, pursuant to 3238 subsection 2, when there is non-compliance and upon filing the summary proceeding as we did pursuant to the statute, it is in your discretion to waive that statutory period because we cannot get into the property and the property is subject and presumed to be subject to further damage because we can't get in there.
I totally understand that and it's a request. Ms. Mueller, are you still living in the home?
Yes, sir. I am.
The bank's saying normally you would have till about the end of October to be able to get your payments made up, but they're worried that you might not be taking care of the property correctly, and then
They
it
can
might
come
be.
in and inspect it when they want
Well,
to.
that's
Yeah, no
that's
problem.
that's the problem. They've not been able to do that. So here's what I am going to do. I'm going to set this coming Friday at 11 a.m. the time to where the inspectors will be there. If you do not let them in, I will grant the request for immediate for the writ date, and we'll reschedule this for 1 week from today, August 4th, Mr. Santi. And that way, if they do not allow you in, I will grant that request and expedite and extinguish the redemptive period. That means, Ms. Mueller, 11 a.m. this Friday, that you must let inspectors into the property. If you do not do that on August 4th, I'm going to grant the request, and you're going to lose those 2 months.
Yes, sir.
Just a minute. Got another person's talking on our Zoom meeting. They're no longer talking. That was not me. Mr. Santi?
I just want to ask for clarification. Are you stating that the inspection will take place at 11 a.m. Friday 11, or is that the deadline, and we can schedule at any time before that?
It will, unless the parties do something different. I'm telling Ms. Mueller right now on the record at 11 o'clock on Friday, she's to expect people to be there.
Okay.
I presume
I just want to be clear.
because otherwise she could say I didn't get it, the information again. She now has a time and a date, and I suspect that the resources that your client has will have somebody to be able to inspect the property at 11 a.m. on Friday.
I'll tell them to get on it, Your Honor. And you stated the next hearing is going to be August 4th at what time?
I'm getting that date. Michaela, can you tell me the time slot we can use for August 4th?
1:30, Your Honor.
1:30 on August 4th. So that means, Ms. Mueller, if you do not let them in on Friday, August 4th, I'm going to grant their request and speed up all the time periods that you have. You won't have a chance to pay this off.
Okay, so they're going to be here this Friday at 11 a.m.
This Friday at 11 a.m. Let me just go ahead and get today is the 28th. Thursday's the 29th. July 30th, 2 days from today. July 30th at 11 a.m. Someone is going to be at your house.
That's fine.
Okay, make sure that it is. Mr. Santi, we'll see you next week. Either way, we'll have the hearing. All right, thank you. We'll be adjourned. Next file is DKK Shawman Rentals LLC versus Jordan Sutton. This is file 21-23374LT. Counsel, please identify yourself for the record.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Millicent Sheck appearing on behalf of the plaintiff, and I do have a representative seated to my right, Your Honor.
Okay, and Mr. Sutton, please identify yourself.
Hello, good morning, Your Honor. Jordan Sutton here.
All right, today's time and date set for termination hearing. Mr. Sutton, you're representing yourself in this case?
Yes.
Ms. Sheck, it looks like your client is not seeking a money judgment. They just want the property back. Is that true?
That's correct, Your Honor. It's my understanding Mr. Sutton's been on a month-to-month lease for quite some time now, and my client just wants the property back. No money owed, nothing.
All right, Mr. Sutton, is there a reason why that the owner of the property shouldn't get the property back if you're on a month-to-month lease?
We've been looking for quite some time since we first got the eviction notice, and it's been tough with the marketplace. And we ended up finding a house, and we were closing on it, and we ended up having some troubles with it. But
did you buy it?
No, we are still in the process of it right now.
There's no problem with the property or anything, and you don't have an agreement saying you're more than just month to month, correct?
For the house or for here?
1302 Ellis Lane.
Yeah, we're month to month, yes.
So there's no legal agreement you have that allows you to stay if they wanted you out, and you said you got a notice to move out over 30 days ago.
Yes.
And We had a pretrial a few weeks back,
Yeah.
and you were offered an opportunity to talk with an attorney, and you chose not to do that.
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Check, I don't see a legal reason not to grant your client the possession. I will give a writ date of August the 9th.
Thank you, Your Honor. Is the court still accepting things via fax, email? Should I mail it? I'm just getting used to what we're.
By email, 75civil@co.midland.mi.us.
Can I say,
Can
Thank
you
you,
tell me
Chuck.
your name, please?
Tracy, I am going for this loan for the house, and I am not on this lease for Ellis Lane. And what is holding up this loan is that Shaman Rentals told my loan officer that I am on the lease. And so they had called and to clarify that, and nobody has called them back. And so they have been waiting for somebody to call back. I even faxed over to
Yeah.
that said, my name is not on there. My signature is not on there at all. And so this loan may be timed out and may have to start over. So we have been looking for apartments in the meantime to rent short term. And I have a few.
So hang on just a second. Ms. Scheck, do you?
Tracy, just so you, my client just showed me that she did fill out the required documentation and sent it back, and she put right on there that you are an occupant at 1302. So she did fill this out and she did send it back.
Okay. According yesterday, he said he had not gotten anything yet.
Why don't we do this? Is there a way, Ms. Scheck, that you can include that with the document, and then that way, Ms. Could you remind me your name again, ma'am?
Tracy Kuchta.
All right, so that Tracy could come to the courthouse and pick up a copy of it, or if she's got an email she's willing to share.
Absolutely.
Because then if she has something, she can walk it over.
Absolutely. We will do that.
All right, wonderful. So Tracy, give a call tomorrow. We may be able to print a copy off for you so you can take it to the loan officer, and hopefully you can get that closing, because houses are closing pretty fast. So you don't want anything blocking it.
I agree. Like I said, I've been working on this since we had gotten looking for houses, and it's been hard to try to find one. As soon as you go to look at it, somebody else has it. And so I have been working on it. So.
Okay, well, good luck to you. We're all set then. All right,
Okay.
we'll be adjourned.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Calling the next case is Thomas McCann versus Amy Neve. This is file 21-23375LT. Ms. Neve, would you please identify yourself for the record?
Amy Neve.
And Mr. McCann.
Thomas McCann, the owner.
All right, today's time and date set for termination hearing. Ms. Neve, are you representing yourself?
Yes.
All right, Mr. McCann, this looks to be just a possession judgment. You're not looking for any money, just the property back.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Ms. Neve, are you, looks like you're outside of a camper. Are you camping, or are you living in the camper right now?
I'm visiting.
You're visiting. Mr. McCann says he'd like to have his property back. Is there a legal reason why he could not have his property back?
No.
Okay. Well, then I'll grant his request. You have until August 9th.
Okay.
Then he can get a writ after that date. All right?
Okay.
All right. Thank you. We'll be adjourned
Thank
on your
you.
case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Next file is Thomas McCann versus Jeff Failer, file 21-23376LT. Sir, would you please identify yourself for the record?
Thomas McCann, the owner.
All right. Today's time and date set. This is set for termination hearing at 1 o'clock. The time is 1:23. Katrina, is there anyone else in the virtual waiting room that I do not see?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anyone else in the courthouse that could be the defendant?
No, Your Honor.
The defendant was given notice by posting on July the 9th, notified to be here. This is the second hearing pursuant to the new process, which the Michigan Supreme Court has just made temporarily permanent.
It's just soaked. Their carpet's just soaked because this thing was leaking really bad. The supply lines blew up for no reason.
I will grant the request. The writ date will be August 9th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. You can stay right there. You want some 130s, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The next file is the case of Thomas McCann versus Darcy Devericks. This is file 21-23377LT. Sir, would you please identify yourself for the record?
Thomas McCann, the owner.
All right. This
Your Honor?
matters. Yes.
I'm sorry, it's set for 1:30. We still have, I don't know if you want to give it a little time.
Yes, I will give it. I will give it 6 minutes. You can stay right there. Why don't we go ahead and bring in whoever else? See, Miss Letts is here for Mr. Burton's case.
Mr. Burton is here.
Yep, I see you, Mr. Burton. We just want to make sure that Miss Letts, who's trying to connect up, because we're still early. But if everybody's here, we can probably go forward with your case. But we need to get Miss Letts connected so that she can.
All right, just let me know. Kathy, I lost him.
Lost this, Mr. Burton. We just have a document up there for Miss Letts to try to connect.
All right.
I think I'm connected.
I think you are.
Hi.
Can you tell me-
Teresa Liscombe?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so I was working notes here that the patient is helped to forward the
I can't
call
talk.
to
I'm in
the
court right now. Hello.
Hello. Hang on just a minute. Did you say Miss Litscomb?
Yes.
Is Hiram Letts with you today?
No.
Do you expect Hiram to be here today?
No.
Okay. Did he used to live there with you there?
Yeah, but not no more.
He lives
Okay.
there right now. That's a lie.
Okay. Well, you have to wait 4 more minutes then. Still, he needs to be able to have the time to
He
be able
comes and
to.
goes every day, okay?
We'll wait 4 more minutes, so we can't default
There's a
somebody
long
unless.
hesitation for that answer.
Hang on, Mr. Burton. We need to wait 4 more minutes because they have an opportunity for Mr. Letts to show up today if he decides to.
I don't know, it's probably.
Katrina, I did get some pictures that were dropped off to me, but it looks like the tenant not hearing.
I'm sorry, sir. It is for the 1:30, sir. LaQuinn Warren. They
That's
just want.
true. It's 3 minutes away.
Mhm.
Let's see.
I don't need to look at them. Thank you, though. I've heard all about it.
Your Honor, they were in person and dropped those off just before the hearing, and she was aware because she double checked the Zoom IDs, so.
Did they say they were going to appear?
She didn't say yes or no, but she did confirm the Zoom ID.
Okay. Still have to wait 3 more minutes. It's shocking how 3 minutes can take a long time in this setting versus 3 minutes any other time. 2 minutes now.
I don't mind.
What? Excuse me, can I say something?
No, ma'am, you're fine. We have to, so we're waiting right now because it's not 1:30 yet, and everybody has a right to have me not call the case early. You're happen to be here. If I have parties on both sides, I have everybody. So we just need to wait to see. You're telling me that Hiram doesn't stay or live there, but I've got to give Hiram at least till 1:30 before I can call the case. So I don't expect he's going to show, but I've got to wait till 1:30. Otherwise, it's not fair to him. If,
Right.
I tried
call the
to
case
do
early.
it, it was busy. I tried Tolino. Well, here, why don't you use your phone? I'm more familiar with that.
Ms. Smiley, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We have Therese is here. She puts it in as Letts, but I think that's Miss Lipscomb. Did you need to meet with her before we called the case?
No.
I don't know why
Okay.
it says Letts.
That's probably we renamed you, so we can rename you. It's Lipscomb, right?
Yes.
Lascumb. All right.
Yes, Liscumb.
How about that? Does that look better? Okay, we have it correct now.
Your Honor,
Just
I
a
have the
minute, Mr.
manager
Burton.
on the phone and he can testify that he's there every day.
Okay, well, you may or
He
may,
does live there.
hang on, may or may not need it. If he's not here, he could be defaulted. Ms. Milek, do you represent Hiram Letts?
I do not. I only
Okay.
represent Miss Liscomb.
Okay, so once it hits 1:30, and it has, I will call the case officially. So we're on the record. Get the right one. We're on the record, the case of Gerald Burton versus Teresa Lipscomb and Hiram Letts, file 21-23286 LT. Would the attorney for Ms. Lipscomb identify herself?
Yes, Your Honor. Amy Mylink, Legal Services of Eastern Michigan, appearing for defendant Teresa Liscomb only.
Okay. Do you mind if I ask Ms. Lipscomb? I had informally request about Mr. Letts, but is it all right if I ask her whether or not she would anticipate him being there if he's with her right now?
That's fine.
All right, Ms. Lipscomb, is Mr. Letts with you today in the home?
No, he's not.
Okay. Do you anticipate seeing him today?
Pardon me?
home?
Say that again?
Do you anticipate? I just want to make sure if he's had an opportunity to know about the hearing, if he's going to appear or not.
No, he will not be here to appear.
Okay. All right. Then it's time to do the hearing. So this looks to be a termination, and we'll need to take some. This is a non-payment of rent. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Burton, how much is the rent to retain possession of the property?
The amount is $32.80 plus court costs. No, it's
3,280 plus court costs.
No.
$3,150 plus court costs.
3,150 plus court costs.
Your Honor, if I may, I was working with Home to Stay on this, and I actually sent over to Kathy Laurie's email. I believe that's Mr. Burton's assistant I've worked with in the past, a proposed consent order. It was only about an hour and 15
That was
minutes.
for number
ago.
one, not this. That was for number one. That was for a different person.
It's a different tenant.
That was for Amanda Clark.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, I do not know her name, and I don't.
First of all, all right, hang on just a second. We'll have her check her email.
Home to Stay may be contacting them about Amanda Clark, but I did not send anything about that client. I sent over a proposed consent order for this case.
What email?
Teresa
I don't
Lipscomb.
have it.
All right.
I
Why don't
just
we
said
do?
today.
Okay.
It was
Could we
only
do
Amanda
this?
Clark.
Hang on, Mr. Burton. You can't have your assistant talking off camera. We're picking her up. So can you have her come back to where you're at, and I'll ask her her question. And then Ms. Milek, do you have it available in electronic form so you can just send it right now?
I do. I send it to them again.
Hang on just a second. Ma'am, could you state your name for the record?
Kathy Laurie.
All right, Miss Lori, could you give an email address that Ms. Milek can send an email with the proposed consent judgment?
Yes, I'll give it to her.
Go ahead.
KATHYLAURIE@me.com.
All right.
I had a different email for Miss Lori from before when we worked on a case, so.
Yes, I did.
What I think I'll do, Ms. Milek, is we'll adjourn this case for about 10 minutes. You get the email to them, and I'll recall the case, Mr. Burton, if there's a consent judgment for the dollar amounts. I think it makes sense just to temporarily adjourn the case. Ms. Lipscomb, that just means we're going to put you on mute for a minute. You just hang tight.
Okay. All right, I will. Yeah.
So Mr. Burton, we'll do the same thing. I'll recall your case once I see your assistant come back in. We've got one more case with Mr. McCann at the 1:30 docket time slot.
And I did forward that, and I think the numbers work out, so.
Okay, that should work well then. We're going to call now the case of Thomas McCann versus LaQuinn Warren.
Excuse me, Mayor. Darcy Debricks. We didn't do her.
Oh, we didn't do Darcy Debricks. Sorry, Thomas McCann versus Darcy Debricks, file 21-23377LT. Sir, please identify yourself for the record.
Thomas McCann, the owner.
Is there anyone here named Darcy Debricks or anyone associated with 1982 West Saginaw Road, apartment 9? If so, please unmute yourself. Katrina, is there anyone else in the virtual waiting room that could be Miss Debricks?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anyone out in the hallway or lobby?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Michaela. So this looks to be the termination. This is a termination case. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. Since she was served notice by posting on July 9th, I will grant a possession judgment. The writ date will be August the 9th. We'll be adjourned on that case. Next file is Thomas McCann versus LaQuinn Warren. This is file 21-2338LT. Mr. McCann, please identify yourself for the record.
Thomas McCann, the owner.
And Mr. Warren, if you would please identify, or Mr. LaQuinn, if you would identify yourself for the record.
LaQuinn Warren.
LaQuinn Warren's the last name. Okay, we have you backwards on your phone. So it's LaQuinn Warren. All right.
Yeah.
You are in a courtroom, so if you would remind me of that, appreciate it.
Okay. Sorry.
Thank you. That's all right. Today's time and date set for a termination hearing. Mr. McCann, I show this regarding property located at 716 Eastman Avenue. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
You're not asking for any money, just for the property back?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Is this a case that's still under terms of a lease agreement?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Warren, do you have a lease agreement with Mr. McCann?
No, not at this time. I do not.
So kind of a month-to-month situation?
Yes, it was.
I do see some of the pictures that you provided. It looks as if you probably should be looking for a new place.
Yeah, it's just hard with, trying to find something, and having kids. So
I understand that. But if other than you don't have a lease agreement, if you were to convince me that the property was, it doesn't look good, but if it was uninhabitable, I wouldn't want you staying there anyway. So I'm trying to figure out, I understand why you dropped the pictures off. You're probably frustrated with the circumstance, but I think it makes sense for me to grant Mr. McCann his property back so he can get to working on the property. Wouldn't you agree?
yeah, it's just how it went about it, because before that it was over a sign. And then it was rent that I owed him that I didn't owe him. And it's been a mess. So like, we've been trying, it's just hard to find something. He told us he was going to fix it and we were supposed to stay here according to his dad. But then his dad, we called him to see what was going on, to see why we were being evicted. And he told us because we ran our mouth to the city. So.
Okay. Well, that's as it stands right now. It looks like you said you're looking for a new place.
Yeah, trying to currently, yes.
I'm going to grant the writ, the termination. Then you'll have until August 9th before a writ could enter.
Okay.
All right.
What does that mean?
That means that you have until August 9th to move out. If you don't, then he could have you served with a writ of eviction. And if you didn't move out, then the sheriff's deputies could remove you and your property from that location.
Okay.
Right.
That's fine. We don't have a problem with it. That's okay.
Okay. All right. We'll be adjourned then. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You have a great day.
You too. Oh, yeah, Mr. Burton, I see you talking, but I can't hear you because we have you muted. Recalling the case of Gerald Burton versus Teresa Liscombe and Hiram Letts, file 21-23286LT. Ms. Mylick represents only Ms. Lipscomb. Mr. Burton, if you would please unmute yourself and let me know if you received a copy of the proposed judgment. You're still muted. You'd have to hit the space bar on your, hang on, Ms. Lipscomb.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. We can hear you, but we cannot hear Mr. Burton yet.
Okay.
Mr. Burton, you're still muted.
I've sent requests for him to unmute, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I just checked my email and I have received the consent order back from them and it has been signed. So I think we're resolved.
All right, then there's a consent order signed. It'll be filed with the court. We'll be adjourned on
Momentarily.
this case. If you would have an opportunity to explain this to your client, I would
She
appreciate
already
it.
understands. Yes, she understands.
All right, thank you. We'll be adjourned.
Thank you so much.